about 10 o'clock. I've been up since 7, which is when I get up to get Juliana ready for school. I already had breakfast. I've already had my coffee. I did my little quick workout. And so now I'm just gonna get ready for the day, which just means I'm gonna put a little bit of makeup on to make myself feel alive and change my clothes. I'm still wearing my pajama top. I wear leggings when I take Juliana out to the bus stop, so I don't even change out of my pajamas. A lot of times I'll just put pants over my pajama bottoms. Yes, I'm not lazy. And I'm realizing I'm out of this. Oh, there we go. Just a little bit, just enough. I wanted to make this video there's really no real point to the video other than just to talk about my thoughts on some things. The biggest thing is I am turning 39 this July. So yeah, I will be 39 and it's gonna be my official last year in my 30s, which I don't know. Well, I know what I used to think about that. A couple years ago, so the beginning of my 30s, like I would say the first half of my 30s, didn't think about it. It wasn't even in my thought process at all about turning 40, being in my 40s. What does that mean? How do I feel about it? I never, first half of my 30s, didn't think about it. I was just in it. I was like, oh, I'm in my 30s, like whatever. I had a young child. I was still, I had young children. I was still in the midst of all of that. So the idea of getting older just wasn't on my mind. Now that both of my kids are older, my son is a junior in high school and my daughter is in kindergarten, gonna be in first grade, but she's more self-sufficient. There's not this I'm not as in the thick of motherhood in that survival way as I once was. And I'm also, a lot closer to 40 now than I was then. So I started, I don't want to say panicking, because it wasn't a panic, that's not the word. It was more just an identity, I don't want to say crisis either, that sounds dramatic. It was just 40 just seems so foreign to me, because I've never felt old. I don't even know what that means I don't know. It's just that 40 to me felt intimidating and kind of daunting, and what does that mean? And it's okay, I'm in my 40s, which makes 50s even close. It's just, there's obviously kind of a slightly negative narrative around aging, especially 40s and after, especially for women. I found myself kind of struggling with some of the mental aspects of that, and also just the biggest thing, one of my biggest fears, we'll start with this. One of my biggest fears of aging is my body failing me, not feeling good in my body, not thriving, having health problems. And of course, young people have those issues too, but you associate those things the most with being older. So I think my biggest fear was, I don't want to feel like crap. I don't want to look like crap. I don't want to feel like crap. And I want to get better every year, not worse. And as a massage therapist, I've had a lot of clients and worked with so many people of different ages and different places in life. Do you need to get down? And I've seen kind of the worst of what can happen when health issues arise. And so, I don't know, I guess working so closely with people in that way has, I saw the reality of what aging can be. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that was a huge thing for me that I started to get fearful of. I don't wanna have a long life for the sake of having a long life. I wanna have a long life and feel as good as I can. Because otherwise, to me, I'm kind of just what's the point otherwise? Which is why now, I do make a conscious effort to take care of myself. And whereas in my 20s and I guess early 30s, it was more about aesthetics then, being a certain weight and looking a certain way. And as I will say, one thing I've learned as I've gotten older and as I'm approaching 40 is it is not about those things, or at least not only about those things. Those are bonuses, but for me, it is about how healthy and strong can I make this body so that it will last me for years to come, and I'm not falling apart, you know, for the next however many years, 30, 40 years. I am just recently kind of coming to a place of peace with the whole aging thing. Also, you know, messaging on social media is really messed up when it comes around to aging, but I am seeing more healthy mindsets around aging. Honestly, it's really about how you set your algorithm. Like, your algorithm when it comes to that kind of stuff can be as toxic as you let it be, or as positive as you let it be. There's a lot of people out there talking about all different kinds of things. I recommend, if you are not seeing a lot of positive messaging around certain things, you need to change your algorithm, and it has to do with you more so than that what the actual narrative is in the world, because there's people with all different kinds of opinions out there. You just have to find the ones that align with what yours is. And I've been doing that, and it really does help the mental shift to not be bombarded with like stupid, toxic narratives around aging and body image and all that stuff. So my point is that my mindset around turning 40 has, you know, shifted a lot in a much more positive light. Because when I look back on how I looked and felt when I was in my 20s, you know, obviously we value youth for whatever reason. I have no idea why, because some people are really not thriving that much in their 20s. Some do, some don't. So I don't even understand what that's about. But I mean, if anything, your 20s is just a big learning moment. It's just where you figure a lot of stuff out and make a lot of mistakes, and hopefully learn from a lot of those mistakes as you get to your 30s, 40s, and beyond, right? So to me, I'm like, the 20s really, if I think about it like in real life and not just what's glamorized on social media or TV or whatever, the 20s are not that great. The only thing that might be slightly better about it is you have less responsibility, maybe, depending on how your life has unfolded, like depending when you had kids and got your career started. And so that's really was the only thing I could really come up with that I got out of my 20s, is learning a lot. And I can't even say I learned the most about myself in my 20s. I actually learned the most about myself in my 30s. I would say like my 30s was really like the best time in terms of coming into like growing into like who I really am and figuring myself out. My 20s was a little bit of that, but it was also just a lot of like being dumb. I just had to deal with the dog. He's about 8 months old, and he's getting into this phase where like he was doing so good with potty training for the longest time. Like when we first got him, he was little, had accidents all the time. He's been house trained, but now he's getting back into this thing where he wants to pee everywhere. So yeah, had to deal with that. So all that being said, I am actually looking forward to my 40s. I guess if I'm not looking forward to anything, it's just any particular physical ramifications of aging. I don't know. But I'm doing my best to feel good and keep active and take care of myself, take care of my skin, take care of my mental health, emotional health, all the things, right? Because that's all you can do. You only have so much control as a human being. So I am trying to just do my best. Yeah, definitely being in my 30s, I've realized that I'm forced to be more intentional with myself, which honestly is not a bad thing. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think I prefer this over not caring or not being aware. I feel better now than I did in my 20s, to be honest, in a lot of different ways. I mean, other than being in my 20s, I really don't know if I can think of any particular benefits to it for me personally. Don't get me wrong, some people do really enjoy their 20s and have a lot of fun in their 20s, or in high school, whatever, but I really don't think, as I get older, when I hear people's stories, I realize I don't think that's the norm. I think that's the exception for like your high school and 20 somethings to be like the best time ever. And even for me, I think like I used to be like, oh, I had so much fun. But then I'm like, wait, did I though? Did I really have fun? Or was I trying to have fun with things that I was told people my age were supposed to do and have fun with? Like partying and dating and like all these different things. It's like, did I actually enjoy that in the moment? Or was I just trying to have fun doing those things because the messaging was, this is what you do when you're at that age? And thinking back, I'm like, I don't really, like, honestly, if I'm being honest, I didn't have like, yes, I had sometimes I had fun. Like, don't get me wrong, it wasn't like never had fun, but it wasn't as fun as my brain tells me that it was when I actually think about it. If that makes any sense. Like, there was just a lot going on. When you're in your 20s, I think you're even though you're younger, you're like more insecure about yourself than you are when you get older. I don't know. Even thinking back, I'm like, I really wasn't having that much fun. I think I'm having more fun now in different ways. Life is just very different. But I think I enjoy myself more because it's really about what I genuinely enjoy and want, and not what am I supposed to enjoy and want. I've heard this saying, I heard someone else say that like they said I wasn't good at being young. I don't think I was good at being young. Maybe that's what it was. I wasn't good at, I don't know. I felt like I was kind of like playing a role, like pretending. Like, I just want to hang out with like friends and drink coffee and have conversation, and like things I'm genuinely interested in are probably boring, but at the time that's not, when you're that young, like that's kind of boring for people, I guess. I don't know. Halo's on timeout because he doesn't know how to act. He peed on my husband's side of the bed. Now you're in trouble. I'm not gonna fully get ready because I'm not really like doing anything. No, you gotta stay there. I think I'm just gonna stay in my leggings. I'm gonna change my top, and I'm just gonna leave my hair looking crazy because I'm gonna wash my hair today anyway. So, yeah. Say hello. Say I'm a menace. Say I don't know how to behave. I pee everywhere. His nickname is Mr. Peabody because he pees everywhere. Well, not really, but he more than I want him to. Let me find a shirt to wear. We're at that stage in the spring where summer's coming, but it is still, certain days are still cold and cloudy, other days are rainy, other days are warm and rainy, other days are cold and rainy, other days are just warm, other days, I don't even know. I don't know what to wear anymore. Today I'm probably gonna have to wear a sweat, I don't know. All right, well, I am dressed and I am going to, hold on. And now I'm gonna start my very exciting day of doing the dishes and editing this vlog. Shh. Hey, relax. I gotta do dishes and laundry and all the fun stay-at-home mom things and hang out with the dog. So I will see you guys in my next vlog. Hope you enjoyed my musings, and I will see you guys in the next one. Okay, bye. Oh, he escaped.